Now pay attention, 007. I've always tried to teach you two things. First, never let them see you bleeding.
And the second?
Always have an escape plan.
What's going on, everybody? Christopher Morales, that one Bond guy, and today we're talking about all things tuxedos, and more specifically the bow tie, which is a pivotal part of the tuxedo, I would say. But in general, the tuxedo is probably one of the most stereotypical things tied to James Bond, the character. Bond himself has worn the tuxedo 28 times through the films, and not even including the amount of times he's worn them through the Fleming novels and the continuation novels. Outside of just being so iconic and so stylish, even timeless, you can say, just is something special. You put one on and it feels, at least for me, it feels like you're putting on some armor and you're ready to go be mission ready for whatever party or Spectre gathering you're going to. You're always ready. It also reminds me about the first time I got my first tuxedo, which is actually documented in a video, Thrifting for Bond video, the Thrifting for Bond special, up on my YouTube, which you can check out. Leave a link in the description or a hyperlink up here. And it was a great experience. I got to bring you guys on and show you the whole process. I got to go to a small business that deals with kind of wholesale suits, and they hooked me up with a great deal, and I still use it today. And it's been on so many different adventures with me, and it served its great purpose, and one of my all-time favorite looking outfits to put on. Also thinking back to more recently, New Year's Eve, where I got to hang out with some really good friends of mine. Cameron from The Things I Do for New England, and Trent from The Traveling Bond. We went to Phoenix, Arizona, and got dressed to the nines for a New Year's party, and it was a cool, very special, kind of, I guess you could say, even emotional moment for myself and Cameron, because he got to put on for the first time his very first tuxedo that he went all out and got tailored, got specific details, and basically was an amalgamation of both of his favorite Bonds, Pierce Brosnan and Daniel Craig, and it looked phenomenal. But again, we're getting to the nitty-gritty. Tuxedo, well, of course, it's the base outfit. You need a stellar bow tie, right? The bow tie is what brings it all together, and that's kind of the story that we're going to talk about today. And you might have seen what I'm going to talk about for New Year's, because I got it specifically for New Year's. But that being said, before I get into it, I mean, the bow tie is essential, right? And I was going by with, of course, you always got to go self-tie. I mean, it takes me an extra 30 to 45 minutes to get ready when I have a self-tie bow tie, but you got to stay true to the original and how they used to do it, right? My original first bow tie that I got from Jose Bank, I still use it. I'm still going to use it. It's a little bit more thicker, and definitely not as thin as the one that I'm going to show you guys. But this is what you've kind of seen me in the past wear, and I love it. It looks great. It feels great. Now I officially have a second bow tie, and it comes from a small brand. You guys may have heard of them, but they go by the name of Turnbull Asser. That's right. Turnbull Asser, of course, we know them and love them as a huge part of the James Bond franchise. And what I have in my hands is the Casino Royale bow tie, but it was first seen on screen in 2006, again, for Casino Royale. It's meticulously refined to bring it closer to the on-screen counterpart. And now this iconic design features a unique shape and an uneven shantung silk, which allows for each tie to be individual, and it's a must-have for fans of the secret agent story. It's hand-sewn in Kent by artisans with centuries of experience. The silk used in their bow ties is woven in Suffolk using techniques going back to hundreds of years. All are self-tying and can be adjusted to fit neck sizes between 14.5 and 18.5 inches. And the great thing is you can still grab these online. I'll leave a link in the description below. However, I did not grab this from online. And that's kind of the story, and part of the video today is the story of how I acquired it. Got it from a great friend of mine, Mr. David Vanderbilt, my partner in crime, if you will, in the Those Bond Guys podcast. He actually was married in England with his wife, then fiance, last year. And before going to get married, they went on a little trip to go scout some possible venues. And one of those trips involved going to visit some iconic Bond brands. And of course, Turnbull Asser was one of them. And where he picked up this very bow tie. He got hand-tied by a gentleman named Elvis, as he tells me, as the story goes. And it's funny because if you guys know me, outside of James Bond, I also love Elvis Presley. He's one of my favorite musical artists of all time. And so that little piece right there, I was like, I heard that and I was already hooked. I was like, it's meant to be, right? And anyways, he brought it back and some things changed and decided to go with a different style for the tuxedo he was going to get worn for the wedding. So he decided to put them up for sale on AJB and eBay and stuff. And I never really thought about it. I saw the listings and stuff, and I thought that was really cool. And I told him I hope he gets a good price for it, whatnot. But then things started to change throughout the year, and I was getting ready and knew that I was going to get dressed up to go black tie for New Year's Eve. And I was like, what if I made it even more special this year? Not only hanging out with some great Bond fans, celebrating my friend Cameron with his new tuxedo, but putting it all together and finishing it off with having the original Casino Royale bow tie from Turnbull and Asser. So I talked to David, and here we are. I have this part of the collection now, and I absolutely love it. It goes on anytime I wear black tie or anytime I have a chance to get suited and booted for any type of Bond theme event or what have you. A very rich history, not only from England, but also within the James Bond franchise. It completes the trifecta of Turnbull and Asser ties that I have. The Tomorrow Never Dies Hamburg tie, the brown with the blue diamonds, and then I have a dark navy blue grenadine tie, which it's just one of those Bond-esque things that I grabbed when I was in New York for Gather All 4 last year. Finally, the Casino Royale bow tie to kind of round everything off. But that being said, it's just a very special moment for me, a special acquirement. Not just add to the collection, but the story behind it means so much. To get it from a really good friend of mine, and to know a little bit of the backstory on how much it kind of played in his personal life, and it's just a lot of fun. And that's what makes collecting Bond items and sartorial items that much greater. You know, I could have gone off and grabbed it online if I wanted to, or whatever, waited for a deal on eBay or AGB, but to have it like this, it's kind of like having a piece of Bond community, a good Bond friend with me at all times, and that's what means the most. That's it. That's what I wanted to chat with you guys about, my acquirement of the Casino Royale bow tie. It was a lot of fun wearing it in the wild. Got a lot of compliments, and it just was the icing on top of the cake. So anyways, I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you guys are staying safe. Thanks for hanging out with me on this one. I will see you guys very soon. Be on the lookout for new podcast episodes, as well as my Instagram. I'm a little bit more active on there than I am here, but if you want to get a hold of me, that's probably the best way to do so. That being said, I'm Christopher Morales, that one Bond guy, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Take care.